today we are talking about sex acronyms. So I was teaching you guys letters, your alphabets, your ABCs, your DTFs, your SMDs. So if you guys want to go see that episode, it is up now, and I'm wearing this outfit over there. So if you want to see more of me in my schoolgirl costume, go on over there and check that out. I will link it below as always. But today I want to talk about how to seduce your teacher. So I was always a little seductress back in the day. Is that a little too much cleave? A little too much cleave? Is there ever too much cleave for YouTube? Yes. But how to seduce your teacher. So back in the day, I had crushes on all my teachers. Semi from 4th grade. My 4th grade teacher, Mr. Brawny, I was in love with. He was a hippie with a ponytail and earring, and I passed out one time, and he carried me to the nurse's office after we had our hepatitis B shots. Sexual, and I think he felt the heat too. I totally get it. And then we moved on. My next crush was, I want to say, freshman year, Mr. Baker, Byron High School. He was the English teacher, but also the gym teacher and wrestling coach, and we had heart rate monitors, and I always was like, I don't know how to get my heart rate monitor on. Could you help me, Mr. Baker? Hot, premature gray, but sexy, fit, tight little body. Then I moved schools to Pecatonica High School, where it was my ultimate teacher crush, Mr. Dunn, who was my sophomore biology teacher, and oh my god, his glasses and his muscles and his talking, and I would always go see him on my breaks, or I'd always get out of class and be like, I have to go see Mr. Dunn. I left my book in his room, and the seduction just started. Now let me just say as a disclaimer that I did not have sex with any of my teachers till after I was out of school, end of age, or college rather. I had a college teacher that I had sex with. He was my theater teacher, and it was very easy to seduce him because I had a tight little body, and I was just like, hey, wanna go out? And that was it. So you might have clicked on this video thinking that I was going to give you a bunch of silly tips and make it really funny, but if you actually want to seduce your teacher, there is a few things that you should do. One, I giggled a lot. I think giggling schoolgirls are the cutest little thing ever, especially when you are young. Also, disclaimer, if you are underage, under the age of 18, you are not legally allowed to have sex with a teacher, nor do I think if you are 18, I don't think teachers and students can have sex when they're actually in a student-teacher relationship. After school, after graduation, that's a whole other story. You can do what you want. Just, look out for each other's reputations. But yeah, so giggle. I love to giggle. I think I giggled all the way up until, well, literally last week when I was looking at the community colleges. I was like, oh, really? Giggling just always works in general for seducing anyone. Also, asking to be tutored. Not necessarily dumbing yourself down, but just needing a little extra help or wondering how you can get a little extra credit. That was my favorite thing today. I'd just be like, is there a way I can just get extra credit? Like maybe help you out after school, set up for the math fair. Little things like that I think is super, super cute. It also doesn't help to have similar interests as the teacher you are interested in. Mr. Dunn was into movies, as was I, so it was really great. We had a kind of a bond over Quentin Tarantino films, but I knew he was a really big fan of like Robert De Niro and those kind of things, so I would start renting Robert De Niro movies and talking to him about it. Or if there was a movie he would bring up that he really liked, if I haven't seen it, I was like, oh, I haven't seen it. He would lend me the DVD, so it gave me an excuse to come see him. He's like, oh, pick up the DVD after school or something like that. Back in my day, you could close the doors, but I think now I'm pretty sure there's an open door thing where if a teacher and a student are together, the door has to be open, so no hanky-panky there. And I didn't with any of the teachers that I mentioned, just FYI if they're still teaching. Definitely didn't. Definitely wanted to, definitely didn't. So yeah, so find similar interests and just be like you want to learn more. Once I started bonding with Mr. Dunn, he let me do all my projects based around Quentin Tarantino movies. I did a, what do you call it, a slideshow presentation on amoeba dysentery, I don't know. The disease that Butch's dad died from in Pulp Fiction with the watch and stuff like that, and I got to incorporate that into my presentation. We also had to pick an exotic or some sort of foreign animal, and I picked the black mamba because of Kill Bill, and of course he gave me A's on all of those, so that was a score. Mr. Baker was into fitness, so I remember taking 3 gym classes my freshman year. Said I had to get them all out of the way. So just finding that kind of stuff and wanting to learn more is always an A+ in teachers' books. Saying hi every time you see him also helps him remember and like you and sort of give you that flirtatiousness. It's that flirtatiousness you can get away with without having it to be so obvious that you want to sit on him. So every time I would see him, if he was with other teachers or other students, I would just make sure to be like, hi, Mr. Dunn. And he would always say hi to me, so every time we would pass, he wouldn't say hi to anyone else, but he would say hi to me, and it was an awesome thing. And then I remember at the lip sync, my mom came, and I was just so embarrassed because Mr. Dunn was there, and I was just like, oh my god, she's gonna think I'm so hot, my mom's gonna know our sexual attraction. But then he said hi to her, and then that was kind of killed. But saying hi is always a good thing. And as I said before, borrowing something's always good, whether I borrowed a DVD, which was whatever, but if you need to borrow something for research, oh, can I borrow a textbook? Can I borrow this book to take home so I can read more about it? Borrowing things means you have to give it back eventually, meaning you have to see him an extra time, and that's always a score. It's also beneficial, as I mentioned, if you take all of his classes, be friends with his friends, and be friends with the person that has the locker closest to his classroom. At the time, Mr. Dunn's classroom was by people with S's, so all my friends, coincidentally, had last names that began with S's, so I could just hang around, so he would always see me even days that I did not have his classes. With Mr. Baker, I took all his classes, his gym classes, and his English class, and I did that on purpose, obviously. Obviously, the more classes you have with them, the more that you can just infatuate on their gorgeous eyes or their muscly bods. Just gonna go there. That's what my education got for me. Also, be friends with his friends, not in the creepy way. Don't go out and be friends with the people he has drinks with. Be friends with the friends that he's all teachers are friends with each other. They have like certain cliques that are really close. I remember there was a math teacher named Mr. O and an art teacher named Mr. Donaldson who also drove a bus, and I would try and be flirty with them too. So I would flirt with them in front of him, and he might get all jealous and they'd talk about me after in the teacher's lounge. The fantasies of 16-year-old Trish. This is what it is. Now, I know a lot of these are sexual, silly, but bottom line is it's also really important to be intelligent and be unique. To stand out, to be your own person will really captivate that person, and they'll show a sign of maturity that you don't care about blending in or what the cool kids think, that you're older in mind, spirit, and body. Well, maybe not body, but it just shows this, like, if you have a level of intelligence, a level of maturity, that they're going to look at you differently than they look at the other students. So if you really do want them to pay attention to you, make sure they pay attention to you. Yes, you're cute, you're giggling, but you want people ultimately to be attracted to your mind, and I think that's why I had these relationships with my teachers, just a close friendship, if you will, because they could see that I was a little bit different than the rest, and they kind of liked that I didn't really need to blend in, I didn't need to, like, you know, dumb myself down or listen to the latest music, that I was okay being true to me. And Mr. Hart, I think he was my Western Civ teacher who was also friends with Mr. Dunn. He was also one of my greatest friends. I didn't have a sexual attraction to him, but he was so great and he encouraged me to be me, and that's ultimately what teachers are there for you to do. So if you have a special bond with a teacher, that's awesome. Sometimes it can be misconstrued as a crush, but a lot of times you just look at them and idolize them for allowing you to be who you are, and that's what I appreciate most about my teachers. So I hope those techniques help. You can go, if your teacher looks like Sting, I say go full throttle for it, but you know, whatever. Yeah, I love that song. Young teacher, the subject of schoolgirl fantasy. She wants him so badly, knows what she wants to be. I love that song. Anyways, does he end so close to me? Anyone know? Okay. Another reason why my teachers were into me. I dug music that were way before my decade. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if any of these tips were helpful to you. And I'll see you guys in my next video. I want to say hi to Rick Moranis, and until next time, here are my kisses for my little baby fishies. Mwah! Bye, guys.